Hey there, hope you're well. The biggest issue that most investors have is when they buy a property, they're focusing on the rental return too much. And this can really create poor investment decisions. And the main reason for that is because quite often you can be chasing a large rent return in an area that's a very poor performing area. And quite often people would chase high rent returns in small towns or mining towns, areas where there's huge amounts of risk to the capital that they're investing, and you never want to risk that because the risk factor is way too high. What you really want to be doing is investing in areas where the supply and demand equation works for you, because that's ultimately what will set you free. The value of the property going up over time, because that allows you to create a big enough pie to generate a residual income that then replaces you as the worker. So if you get too transfixed, too focused on the rental returns in some of these areas that are offering high returns, like mining towns and small towns, there's too much risk and there's not enough growth factor there. So I'm not saying don't get as much rent as you can, as long as it's in an area that's growing. Most major cities are fine because they've got multiple different economies within that city. There's a supply and demand equation working for them, and it's got the benefits that you need to be able to ultimately stop work and generate a passive income. So if you understand that, or you take something away from this video, let it be that you don't go into smaller areas, smaller towns, mining towns, those kind of areas where you think you can get a cheap property because it's getting an 8% gross return or something like that. Don't focus on that, because you'll find that maybe 10, 15, 20 years later, it won't have grown much, if anything at all. Okay? And ultimately, it's the growth that's going to set you free.